G'day listeners and welcome back to another episode of the Keeper League podcast. We're the AFL Fantasy podcast that doesn't talk about the superstars. We're going to talk about the lesser knowns and the players who bring value to your draft and Keeper League teams. My name's Heff and this week I am joined by Tommy Wyman. How you going, mate? How you been?
Well, mate. Yeah, good, thanks. Good to be back.
Did you have a good weekend or what did you get up to?
Pretty chill, really. Watched a fair bit of footy.
Yeah? Watched the Crows slaughter the Swans?
Pumped with the Crows, yeah. So that was awesome. But yeah, watched really enjoy the Richmond game as well.
Yeah.
Richmond Giants. Did
We
not
actually watched that,
expect that at all.
We watched that at the, the district,
Yep.
at the casino.
Yep, great.
Yeah, caught up with Geordie, Louis, Bales came across as well.
Yep.
So we had a gig we're going to at Lion Arts, but went there to watch the footy.
Good.
Yeah,
Real
it's the best place in Adelaide to watch footy,
Love
I think.
for the test match too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Probably the other one's the Arca Bar, Sporties Bar down there,
Yep.
but we don't have too many good sports bars. So, but
No.
it's just good to catch up with some other AFL fantasy people over the weekend.
And the district's in like the most ideal spot for it.
Yeah,
really,
exactly.
so.
Like it's on top of the train station,
Yeah,
so it's perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Last week we had the mid-season draft, which you haven't had an opportunity to talk about. You across many of these players in this year's draft? You used to be the rookie guru.
Yeah, less so with the interstate players.
Yeah.
But yeah, still sort of know the South Australians.
What were the South Aussies that got picked up?
Manny Liddy.
That's right. Yep. Port Centrals.
Harrison Rahm went to Port.
Yep.
Port drafted 3, and then
Yep.
Owen McKinlay went to Port as well from my North Adelaide Roosters. So,
Yeah, that's right.
That hurts the Roosters, but pretty good pick up support, I think.
Yeah, definitely. Manny Liddy for instead of
Yeah.
South Australians, I like him as a fantasy prospect.
Yeah, definitely.
Probably the three that I like, I didn't really like a lot of them because a lot of them like small forwards, rucks,
Yep.
key forwards, that sort of stuff. McCarthy, I like. I like Michael Selwood, went to the Dogs.
Great last name.
Like, we had 2 L's though.
Spelt differently though, yeah.
2 L's. And Manny Liddy were probably the only 3
Yeah.
I was interested. And maybe Lockie Blackison was the other one because Essendon ruck situation. But I've kind of called on that because, he didn't play on the weekend, so we won't talk about him in the recap. But Vigo Vicentini has been dominating the VFL.
Yeah, he's been putting up some numbers, hasn't he?
Yeah, I don't know what it is in terms of real football, but his fantasy numbers, I don't think he's gone under 90 for 5 weeks now. And I think Goldie's looking a bit tired. I feel like there might be a debut. It'd feel weird.
Yeah, Goldie does look tired. Yeah. I reckon it might have been on this podcast. I might have been off here, but I remember saying I couldn't believe I genuinely forgot Goldstein was on a list.
Yeah, there's a few Essendon players like that. What's the key defender from last year? He was wearing number 25 and he's moved to number 15. What's his name? Name is escaping me. You look it up for me.
Number 15.
His number Jaden Laverde. That's what it is.
Laverde, yeah.
I thought he'd retired purely because someone else was wearing 25.
Right.
It was I think it was Pryor's wearing 25.
Oh, Jackson Pryor.
Yeah. So I was like, Jaden Laverde's definitely retired. And then he just came out of the woodwork out of nowhere the other day as well. So and he's changed it. For some reason they've changed numbers. So it was that really confused me. But same deal with Goldie. It was a bit of a shock to the system when you see someone like that running around that you expected to be gone. But yeah, the only thing is with Lockie Blackison, it's just I feel like it'd just be weird to bring a guy in and play him straight away over someone who's actually been performing
definitely.
for you in the twos.
What an insult that would be.
Yeah, exactly.
If you've been training the whole preseason and then the bloke comes in, been there 2 minutes and he gets picked before you, that'd have to be a slap in the face.
And a few people are saying they could play this weekend straight up, but I was listening to Mick Barlow on Footy and Friends, who's in the coaching in the system as well. And
he's
saying,
great. Love Mick Barlow.
Yeah, he is the best. But he was saying that the only way that would actually happen is if they were part of the VFL program and been training.
And they know the systems and the structures and everything.
He said basically it takes too long to bring him in and get all that sorted. So
just a good Manny Liddy's actually a really good story. Almost was in real danger of maybe not even playing footy again. Had an infection in his I think it was his leg. I think it was last year. Anyway, got quite bad at one point and ended up recovering and returning to footy with Centrals. But he wore a sleeve to stop it from.
Okay. This is ringing a bell.
Yeah, so actually, there's a long story about it, but it's actually really awesome to see him get picked up. I remember he played in the same Sturt 18 side as Tom Power, and those two absolutely dominated.
Yeah, right.
Got so much of the footy. Would have 70 disposals combined.
It's kind of funny. When I saw him get drafted, I thought we'd picked up a mature ager. He doesn't look young, you know what I mean?
No, I think he's 23.
24, I think.
23 or 24.
Well, yeah, about that. So.
But yeah, it's a great story. There's some good articles out there. I know I saw one in the Advertiser a few weeks ago now.
Yeah.
Might have been a couple of months ago now. But so if you Google it, there's some good articles out there. It's actually quite a amazing story. So good on him.
Check that one out. All right, let's get stuck into it. Apologies if my voice starts to go. I'm starting to get a bit croaky. Been sick the last week. I thought I was finally getting better. It was about a week on, but then hits you again.
That's right. It's not even getting cold here yet, really, is it?
No, it's pretty cold in the mornings.
Kind
That's
of.
about it. But yeah. Let's get stuck into the Brisbane Essendon game. Noah Answorth had 89 points. Probably tip of the cap. Lots of I've been saying this last few weeks. Brisbane are the number one uncontested marking team because they just chip around their back line, and it feels like someone pops up that's unexpected each week. Will just be in the right place, right time.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Ryan Lester.
Was
the guy that was last 2 weeks he scored 80 plus 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah.
And he still scored 79 this week. So, but I reckon it's got to do with that kind of their game plan coming out of defence is to find the loose man.
Yeah, I see Answorth as the shutdown guy.
Yeah, exactly.
More so than the point scorer. But I just wonder who he goes to this week. The Crows, obviously, there's going to be so much attention now.
Yeah.
On Rochelle, Rankin, Neil Bullen, maybe to a lesser extent, and Keys as well.
Yeah,
he gets one of them.
I think it's Rochelle.
I think it's Rochelle as well. But I don't know whether that'll mean he sort of takes out that uncontested style a little bit.
He's a tip of the cap, but it's more of a just a nod to Brisbane's defence
structure.
Yeah, and just sometimes
sure.
a few of these kind of guys pop if you need to stream them or loophole them on type thing. Being a Thursday night game was probably a good night for it as well. Kyle Lohmann had 79 points. 3 goals. It was his first goal of the year was in this game.
I couldn't believe that.
He was so
I
injured.
think I saw it. I think I saw it. Before the game, and I forgot he'd been injured for most of the year.
Yeah, he'd been subbed out 3 times.
Yeah. Great player when he's up and running.
Yeah, and if he's back at full fitness, he could be a loophole streamer type for you as well in your forward lines because he'll kick a few bags. I think he's going to be big in the classic world because I think his break even's -2 this week, so everyone will be picking him up there. Sam Durham, the other one, he only got 33 points, but when he got injured, he rolled his ankle, and then but the thing is he sat forward for the rest of the night.
He just played out of the goal square.
Yeah,
but there was that awkward moment. I forget who it was with. I think it was Gresham.
Yeah,
and they caught it on TV. They were arguing with who's going to be playing the deepest, and it had to be Durham because of his injury. But I don't know. There's probably nothing in it, but interesting. Yeah, it just looked like Durham was just out there hobbling. But
this is my thought. There's a few times this year he's gone forward, and it wasn't even sometimes not even injured. It's just they playing forward.
Yeah.
Darcy
It's a good
Parish,
mark actually.
That's true. Yeah, Darcy Parish is coming back next week.
Yeah.
So do they play him a bit more forward as a result of that? And
I don't think Parish is playing anywhere but midfield, really.
Yeah, exactly.
So
I don't know. I haven't actually checked the VFL numbers. If they actually played that well, he might get a game. But does Essendon play this week, actually? Yeah, they do.
They do.
Yeah. Because it's only free on St Kilda to have a bye. So we might see Parish back. My point is just keep an eye on that because Sam Durham could...
We've got Carlton. Carlton this week.
Could spend enough time up there to get forward status. You never know. So just have a think about that one. But his scoring will probably be hampered if he does go forward. So that's the other issue. On to the Collingwood versus Hawthorn game. Hawthorn are a rabble.
Yeah.
I know they're good. They're a lot better
Careful
than most
saying
of the
that.
teams.
You can't say that.
No, you can't say rabble. Last week against Brisbane, that was some of the worst skills I've seen from them.
Yeah.
They weren't that bad when you compare them to say something like Port. But
Hawthorn is slick normally. When they're up and going.
And then they just got completely shut down in this game. So I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. A lot of people tip them to be, big climbers this year, or go that one bit thing. But I was a bit skeptical, given how young their list is and all that sort of stuff. And I guess a few injuries and things like that. But I don't know. They're just not the Hawthorn. That we expected. from last year.
They're pretty far away from that.
Yeah.
But I guess on the other hand, Collingwood are just so good, and I think most people's takeaway from this game is Collingwood. That you lock them into one spot in at least a prelim, probably a grand final.
No, I think so as well. Yeah. Collingwood are crazy though, because you look at their team on paper and you're like, yes, they got Nick Dacos, he's probably the best player in the comp.
Yep.
But they got a really old midfield. They got no real standout key forwards or key defenders.
No.
Good smalls. Then maybe that's the way you need to go about it these days.
It just works. They're just firing.
I reckon it's system, coach, all that sort of stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. I think McRae's got a lot to do with how they play. Ned Long, 101 points, had a massive second half. I think he's too good for the podcast now.
Having a massive year,
yeah.
didn't he?
Just need the opportunity.
Yep.
We always knew we could do it.
Definitely. I think there's that role for him there as well.
Yeah, exactly.
No Tom Mitchell in the side.
Yep. That said, Tom Mitchell's had 3 weeks in a row at the twos and performed pretty well. I just don't know how he gets back in.
No, I don't see it.
Yeah.
Stiff, Brownlow medalist, but...
That said, I reckon like with the Pendlebury, with the side bottom in there will be rotations, and I wouldn't be surprised if we see him play a couple games here or there, or like might play...
they'll rest again? They've already done it.
Yeah, I reckon. Before the end of the season,
I think
for sure.
so too.
But you might see like him play a week, sub another week, play another week, then maybe go back to the twos. So might be worth.
That's Long's role now, I think.
Yeah,
good on him.
Yeah, so you might be able to pick up Mitchell off the waivers just for a few streamers. But yeah, Long's the guy in there long term now, I think. Tip of the cap to Mychek, 93 from 4 goals. Jamie Elliott probably hasn't been given enough respect on this podcast, but he keeps putting up scores. It's just that like to get 86 points on the weekend, he scored 5 goals, had to kick 5 goals.
Yeah.
That's not something you love for fantasy.
No.
But he keeps bloody doing it. I reckon he's done it 3 weeks in a row now. So, I don't know.
Just a ridiculously good player.
Yeah.
Can mark it, crumb it. Oh, he's such a good small forward.
Yeah, of course. And then, speaking of small forwards, Jack Ginnivan, just stream him against Collingwood every time. So, I actually put him in my streamer article last week. Because, I know he only played Collingwood twice before this, but he was averaging 94.
He loves it, doesn't he?
And he loves
just such a big game player, I think. Like just loves the emotion of it.
Banter, all that sort of stuff. But yeah, he's averaging against them's now over 100 from the 3 games he's played against them, which is crazy. So yeah, actually no, but I'll be fielding him full time though as well. Like he's doing enough at the moment. And Josh Ward, 85, playing inside, but I'm not buying it until he just shows consistency. I don't know. What do you think?
I think it'd be great. Hawthorn surely want Ward and McKenzie. McKenzie probably less so. I think he's having quite a good year, McKenzie. But I think Hawthorn just need Ward to really step up without Day. I think they just... I mean, I'm not sure what the exact stats are without Will Day. But, it just seems there's such a better side with him in there. And he's going to be out for a lot longer now. But you just wish Ward would start really showing it on a more consistent basis. Yeah,
like we've seen he's got the tools. It's just got to do it every week type thing. So, yeah.
I mean, I think he was pick 5. It was a top 10 pick for sure.
Yeah. What is it now, 4th, 5th year in the system?
It'd be 4th, I think.
Yeah, sounds about right. All right, let's move on to the Gold Coast versus Fremantle game. I didn't see a second of this, unfortunately. It was
actually a really good game.
Yeah, I listened to it on the radio. I was driving. So, Mac Andrews was the first one, 83 points. He was in defence to start off with, and then went forward according to the notes I was given. 20 disposals, 6 marks. He's just not going to do that every week as a key position player. I think it's time for Sam Flanders to be brought back to the podcast. Like we've put it off for a while, I think.
Yeah.
But he's just not doing enough. Kicked 3 goals and still couldn't get to 80. It's all roll though, isn't it?
It's all roll. Well, we know it's all roll with him. Yeah.
So what's going to happen? Do you reckon he gets traded? Do you reckon he's stuck in this position?
It's tough.
At the start of the year, like I saw that, Rioli will come in.
Yep.
But I was like, are they enough to push him off the half-back line? Or does someone like Will Powell get kicked out of the role a bit more? Like I know he plays up on the wing a bit more. Or Joel Jeffrey, the other one. They did not pick him to be having as good of a season as he did. And then because if someone tells you pre-season Sam Flanders is going to be playing forward, I'm off, I'm out. But I just did not see him
roll with him.
Yeah. I just did not see him getting kicked out of that defence no matter what. Like I thought they'd find a spot for him. So
I think it's hard to tell. It's hard to sort of guess what they might be thinking, but there'd be someone out there that could do with him and use him a lot better than what Gold Coast do. I'd think
he's like surplus to requirements, really.
Yeah,
he's a very good half forward flanker. But
he'd be getting a game for. In most forward lines.
Yeah, and definitely most midfields probably.
Most midfields, that's right. Yeah,
if he was good enough. So, or if he was on another side. So yeah. Onto the Freo side of things, I think it's mainly tip of the caps. I think Sam Swikowski had 82 from 7 tackles. Yeah. Just kind of pressure forward stuff. Neil Erasmus probably had his first promising sign for owners in that forward mid role, and I think he's jumped up on the waivers this week. People are starting to sign him. It's a bit like Ward though. You just want to see it consistently.
A bit like Ward.
You want to see it consistently before
I'm not sure if they were in the same draft or not.
They might have been actually. It sounds about right. They seem to be the right age profile for that time. But it's just another one that you wish you would just see him do this more often and reward his owners a bit more because he's got that forward status this year as well, which is super draft. Handy for us. Was it the same draft?
Ward picked 7. And Erasmus picked 10. So both highly sought after prospects, and they both sort of haven't really gone on with it.
Yeah,
to probably what we thought they could.
Did you appreciate that treading of water there while you looked that up?
Yeah, that was class. That's class.
You can't teach that. You can't teach that in the podcast.
That's
world.
craft.
Yeah. Anyway, GWS versus Richmond. Jake Riccardi's the first one I want to talk about here. 108 points. He's moved into that forward backup ruck role recently, and he's been awesome at it.
He's been really good, actually.
It's because Briggs has sucked, I think, as well.
Yeah.
But the thing is, he's been good up forward too. He's taking marks inside 50, kicking goals. He kicked 2 goals on the weekend, so he's getting very close to being too good at the moment. I think he just needs to do it consistently, just like the others. But you pop up here and there.
Yeah, that's right. I feel like it's a tough role to be super consistent at. But
yeah, definitely.
Yeah. If he can, then for sure. Yeah.
I think so too. It's just it can't even having a forward option who's doing a bit of ruck time and scoring okay. Joe Fonte impressed me. Did you watch this game?
Yeah,
you did.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, he looked really good.
Yeah, he's coming out of defence, scored the 86 points. Whitfield's been playing further up the field. I was with Louis and Geordie on the weekend, who both traded him into Classic. And they're both.
This is Whitfield.
Yeah. No, Whitfield.
Yeah.
And they're both on the cusp of top 100, both of them. And so they watched him. They traded him in. You see the lockout always happens a couple minutes before the game starts. And then they saw him wandering to the forward line and they were just doom and gloom.
Yeah.
End up still scoring 119. But I think the reason that Fonte's been playing back is because Whitfield's been further up the field as well. So Whitfield doing that might be good for him, because he's really showed some signs off that half-back line.
Why are they doing that with Whitfield? Is
No
it just
idea.
ball use inside 50?
No idea. Probably. Yeah, going inside 50, maybe. To hit up some targets. That's probably a good reason. But, I don't think about footy that deeply. I just think about fantasy numbers. But maybe that is the reason. But yeah, Joe Fonte is definitely someone I'm liking the look of at this stage in his career. And then on the Tigers side of thing, Dion Prestia, 111 points. His first game back into the side and straight into the midfield. He was the second most used at CBA. We've seen people like Treloar and stuff come back in and get thrown forward for a game and stuff like that until they're fully fit. Well, he only played the one game when he was back out again injured. But I think Dion Prestia is worth a waiver. He's the number one pickup this week. The only thing, bad thing about it is McAuliffe's scoring dropped off a little bit.
Yeah.
But luckily McAuliffe still had the same centre-backs to tenors percentage.
Yeah.
So that's positive. But yeah. And then Callum Ward.
Yeah, it sucks, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Did you see the interview after?
Not after, no.
Yeah, it just sort of just shattered for him.
I saw him crying on the bench and Whitfield coming and kissing him and stuff. So
and then gave the rev up at 3/4
I
time,
saw
which
is
pretty awesome. But obviously in sad circumstances. But yeah, it's just interesting to see who gets his sort of role, I guess. Feels like I think Ralston is valued pretty highly.
Yeah.
He was a first rounder.
He puts up big numbers in the VFL.
Yeah, he does.
If he comes in, he's probably playing that wing role.
But it's that role, yeah.
Kelly came back into the side.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to think who they were playing. Ware was playing that role on the wing a bit.
Oh, yeah, Jacob Ware.
Yeah.
But yeah, then it's just guys like McMullen or Harvey Thomas who might sort of be get sub games. Maybe they get a better role. But yeah, I don't think it's a great role for scoring necessarily.
I reckon if I was a betting man, which I'm not, I'd put a small amount on Ware coming back into the side and playing the role, because he looked alright when he was doing it. I think they just opted for more experience.
Yeah.
But we'll wait and see what happens there. Sydney versus Adelaide, I watched about a quarter of this before I went to the gig. But tip of the cap to Tom McCartan, 104 points with 11 marks.
You're going to get that when you have 70 inside 50s against.
That's the K's theory. 10 marks for a defender, key defender, they'll ton up or whatever. That's his theory. And then Justin McInerney, 90 points. He's back to too good for the podcast, but he's playing more halfback the moment. And Riley Bice has been down kind of since it's been happening as well. So
I think Bice. What did Bice score? I think
9.
9. Yeah. Someone told me
subbed out.
that.
I think Bice might be rested or come out of the side.
Yeah, I think he might be dropped. I think there might, to be fair, there might be a few.
Yeah, after this performance for sure. So yeah, but yeah, it was crazy with the Crows because it was a really dominant game.
I actually didn't. Yeah,
and no tons.
No one turned up.
Yeah.
I didn't realise that till I had a look. I think it might have been Sunday.
It's just because they were just attack, I think, and it was just
you can see it in the coaches' votes as well. No one got 10. No one got a clear best on. It was all Crows, but it was all spread across and
pretty solid team performance then, really.
Yeah, I think that was pretty fair. Fair call, I think. It was a very good performance right across the board. I thought Neil Bullen was probably the best. To be honest.
Well, he scored 99 points.
Yeah, and he was great. 25 disposals. I think that would be a season high for him.
Yeah.
But yeah, he was excellent.
I think like all their forwards though just went huge.
Keys for Shelley.
Yeah, exactly. Just all got in on it. The only one he wasn't, Mark Keane. He was a looser man in defence because I think they're pushing one up to the midfield.
Sydney had a forward, pushing quite high up, and it just allowed Keane to sort of play that role, which he actually plays really, really well.
Yeah, he does play the loose role.
I wrote that he's only played 43 games. I think that sometimes gets lost.
Wow, yeah.
He's been around for a while now.
He's on Collingwood's list, wasn't he?
Yeah, he's at Collingwood.
I did not realise that. That's awesome.
So, I think he's quietly becoming a really good key defender.
As a Port man, I'm quite envious of how good you have kind of developed and recruited your key defenders.
And Murray's still out, obviously, I think, for a couple more weeks. But so I would think Butts just goes out. But he's been pretty solid.
Yeah, no, they've been fine. They just plug in and play, you know.
Yep.
No, they're all good. Melbourne versus St Kilda. Stephen May had 99 points. This is my key defenders versus St Kilda. If you go to the website, you check out this points scored for and against. We have points against player type, which does include key defenders. And St Kilda just don't really have a heap of tall targets. So it allows, but Stephen May's like scoring is a bit different. Like he gets like involved in the chip around.
Yeah, he does. He's such a good kick too.
Yeah, and like, always takes kick-ins and stuff like that. So
like you trust him with the ball.
Yeah,
Melbourne trust him with the ball, whereas like.
So it wasn't like purely because of that theory, like as a stream. Like I think against most sides, he does have the potential to go big. It's not just because he's playing St Kilda. But like there's so much chip around at Melbourne, like Chandler, Saylor, McVie, Rivers, I think they were all 80 plus. The only one he wasn't was Jake Bowie for the second time in a row.
Yeah, so he's quiet.
The attention's going to him. Really, that's the one they're shutting down.
He's having a great year. So,
just something he's got to work through that and learn how to deal with it. And then Brad Hill had going on to the St Kilda side of things, 120 points. I'll say it again. Try to get him cheap if you're contending. Yep. Like I offered up a 5th round pick for him. I thought he was older than he actually was. I think he was only 31.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
yes.
31 or 32, I think. But yeah, I thought he was way older than that. But he's a veteran.
Feels like he's been around for ages.
Correct, yeah. Veteran. Well, because I think he started playing soon. He did premiership like in his first or second season.
True.
So, but he's a veteran player who's, plays roles, outside roles with like, he's got forward status. That's the main part of it. So, that's the one to think about. Marcus Windhager, 170 points. It is like one good score a month type thing that he's kind of been doing. I just wish he could find some consistency. That's all.
Yeah, I mentioned that. I just think he's Ross Lyon's like Mr. Fix-It, where he's just so
plays everywhere.
Like just given a role, and I think Ross he has those types in his sides.
Was he went to Oliver in this game, didn't he?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Don't quote me on that, but I just think his skill set allows it. He feels like a very task-orientated player.
Yeah.
You just sort of give him a role and he'll do it, and I think Ross can just rely on him to do that.
Yeah.
Which isn't good for scoring really necessarily.
Yeah.
Especially consistency. I just don't think you're going to get that.
Yeah, definitely. I did miss a good chunk of this game.
I didn't watch this game.
Those who have followed the podcast over the year will know my favourite brewery, Brew Boys.
Oh, yeah.
Which is down the road from me. Yeah, they announced Saturday morning, drop of that, they're closing for good.
Right.
This is our last weekend.
Okay.
Thing. So I went down there Sunday for a couple of beers and a chat to the guys down there and stuff. So pretty sad, but is what it is. Craft beer industry is struggling at the moment. By the sounds, there have been a few have bit the dust lately. But that's another one gone. Just sucks because it was like a stone's throw from my house and like
walk home.
And my kid loved it. So I could take him down there. There's toys, there's pinball machines, there's like board games, like everything. Like now it's gone. So now I have to find something else to do when I'm bored. But anyway, the other one's Hunter Clark. 86 points. He's had back-to-back good scores on the bubble. I don't know. Do you think he's like locked into their best 22 though?
You'd hope so. I would think he I wouldn't say he's locked in.
Last year he was just a whipping boy. Like he'd score 100 and be dropped the next week. And McRae's out the side at the moment. Kind of coincides with him going out.
St Kilda's just I can't get a read on them really, to be honest. They've got it feels like they've got all these guys that I really don't know about very much.
That said, Hunter Clark was injured for the first 8 weeks or whatever. So
he's got injury problems. He's had them throughout his whole career, really.
But it's not like he wasn't getting a game, It's like as soon as he played 1-2's game and then came back in the side. So that's like, but it did coincide with McRae. So it's Paisley's just going to have to wait till after the bye and see what happens, I think.
How long was McRae out for?
He could have come back this week, but they got the bye.
No, okay,
right.
So he'll definitely be back.
Yeah, definitely. No, after the bye, it was 2 to 3 weeks was his injury. West Coast versus Geelong. I kind of just made some notes on West Coast as a team, but in this game, West Coast were winning a lot more of their own footy. They just held possession for a lot longer than normal. And you saw this in their fantasy scoring as well, like particularly the halfbacks, like because they're kind of, building a lot of their play from there. Like Duggan, Cole, Baker all scored 80 plus, which last week, like I don't think we had a person score over 75. So it was a very different week. And I think like over in Perth, they're probably a bit of a different beast. Mm-hmm. And they don't actually leave Western Australia for the next 4 weeks. I think they do have a bye in there, but there's 3 because North Melbourne sold a game.
That's right.
So they're there again, and then there's a bye, and then they play again after that. Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
So it might just be good for some of their fantasy scoring is what I'm saying. Like that, they don't travelling as much; they're a bit more refreshed.
Yeah,
they can, and then having a bit of a fortress over there, like to hold Geelong last night was a pretty good effort. You know, so
feels like all the good Eagles sides were just unbeatable at home.
Yeah. So just something that might be like you might feel a bit more confident streaming some of these guys. Like Tim Kelly, 81 points. He's spending more time forward, so just watch for DPP on that one because I did think his CBAs were down a little bit. Elijah Hewitt, 75 points. I've just seen enough to know he's going to be a gun one day.
I agree, definitely.
Just need West Coast to get this shit together.
Yeah.
But he probably loses forward status.
He's a midfielder.
Yeah.
He's a CBA midfielder.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be a gun. It's just the rest of the side getting their act together, really. Isn't
it? As a team, they just need to grow and evolve, really.
I think they will, but it'll just take a while.
Another one of my little stat nuggets from my points for and against table. Key forwards, I have mentioned a bit. Key forwards are scoring well against Geelong at the moment, and I know Oscar Allen only scored 65, but he kicked 4 goals against them. Mm-hmm. So, like, just keep streaming.
Yeah, he's really good actually, Oscar Allen. Yeah, really stood up without Waterman.
Definitely, and that's the other thing, more of a focal point there. But
I think he was the main man. Wasn't he? Yeah,
just keep streaming against them. Like, if you got a key forward that comes up against Geelong, like it's a good risk. Like, it's good even if they're not like a top player. It's a good one to go against because I think for the Geelong side of things, a lot of their scores are inflated because the West Coast do give up a lot of points. Tom Atkins had 92 points. He's their contested guy in that middle. Like they got Baz doing the kind of flashy stuff and getting all the ball.
Atkins is so grunt.
Yeah, and he does all the tackling and all that sort of stuff. So
like all even if the stuff that doesn't get scored, like the knock-ons and
Shepherds and things like that, and just blocking.
All the 1%. Like, he'd be the 1% king. I haven't seen the stats, but he'd have to be up there somehow.
Yeah, definitely. So like he's I don't know if I'd advocate picking him up, but he pops from time to time. That's what I'm trying to say. And then I think Tyson Stenglitz had a tip of the cap game with 88 points, kicked the 2 goals, playing a bit higher up the field in more of a half forward role instead of the kind of small forward, deep pocket, last forward pocket type thing. So that's pretty much all of it from this week. It's hard with the buys with 2 less games, so there's not a lot to pick up on. But we'll get stuck into some listener questions. Siegs asks, Brady fucking Hoff, the prick is playing midfield and somehow scoring worse. Is he a keeper?
Did he tag Bailey Smith after quarter time? I think he...
Was it Bailey Smith? I can't remember who. He was definitely tagging someone in there.
I'm not sure.
He did a terrible job if that was the case.
Yeah, I mean, Smith started so well. I think he had 15 in the first quarter.
Yeah.
But then, I think he ended up with, I'm not sure, definitely in the 30s. So he slowed down to some degree. I think it was Hoff that went to him. But yeah.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it was. But like the thing is, like he's playing his role as a defender just in the midfield. You know, like he did pop 1 week, and the annoying thing about Hoff is he will score respectively in the first quarter always. Yeah. Like I think this week he had 17 and then finished on 30. Like against the Crows, I think he had 30 at quarter time, and then pretty much nothing for the rest of the game. Like it's ridiculous. So I don't know what it is, but he just scores well in the first quarter. But he's playing a defender in the midfield. That's pretty much how the role's going. So.
What do you think he becomes when the Eagles turn into something that's much better than what we're seeing now? What role does Hoff play?
I think he goes back to that halfback.
I agree.
I think they're just trying things. And like this is one of the ways that they're not getting pumped. We're trying not to get pumped just by holding another midfielder. Yeah. And just sending Hoff there. And when they can start to hold their own in the midfield a bit more, I think they don't use him.
Yeah, ideally, I think he's a defender.
Yeah, definitely. Atrax 1223 asks, has Marich lost his role?
He got subbed out, didn't he?
Yeah. Started on the wing. I remember him being at the first wing attendance. Didn't have a single kick in this game as well, where he's been... I don't think he's had a week since he's moved to that role where he hasn't had a kick in.
Right.
So the weird one, I think it was Tyrell Dewar. Had a heap of kick in. So he was kind of playing back a little bit more. So I don't really know. Like, are they stuffing around, trying things out?
Yes.
I don't know. Like,
I think so, yeah.
So he might not be in this role for it. They might push him back to the wing and give someone else a go on that role and see who they can. Like, that's what it feels like.
I think was he a winger when he was drafted in the mid-season?
I think. Oh, and like, was he a
I think he was half forward
winger. Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
He goes forward now. Yeah.
I
Hard
don't
to say.
But so yeah, I'd be a bit worried if I was a Marich owner.
Definitely.
Because like they might just try someone else in that role for 6 weeks, like they did with him. It might just be what they're doing. It's just you get a 6-week patch in this role to see what you can do.
I don't really know why he was subbed out. It wasn't an injury, was it?
Nah, and he wasn't performing that well. No, it was
okay,
it was tactical. Maybe needed rest. I don't know. Huge ass AFL. Does Sam Walsh return to his best at some point? I think yes. He just needs a injury-free preseason and run at everything. And
he'll stay at Carlton, won't he?
I don't know. Yeah, I think so. Like they just apparently everyone's for sale at Carlton, but I see him as like a heart and soul type player. Yeah, like future captain type thing.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
He's had captain like written all over
from the start.
Draft.
Yeah, so like we'll be the next captain. So I don't think he leaves, but I think he gets better.
He gets back to his best for sure.
Needs a full uninjured season and then just a full uninjured preseason. I think he gets back to his best. Where are we at with Sean Darcy? Asked Diddley Docker. I'd hate to own him.
I'd hate to own him.
He's a backup ruck in our league, in both our leagues actually. No one plays him on field. And I think that's where he's at because you get 12. There's probably 12 better rucks. If you're in a 12-team league, there's probably 12 better rucks than him. So I think he's a backup. Watch to see what happens next season with Jackson.
Yeah, that's another one.
If they trade Jackson, then he's probably going to have more value.
Oh, definitely. But I just can't see Jackson going back.
Well, also in this game as well, like in the Freo game, Jackson was like a extra midfielder.
Yeah.
Like Darcy was still in there sometimes. Like it was weird. So they can coexist, but what's for sure I think is Darcy can't score with Jackson in there.
Yeah.
So, but vice versa, probably can. So wait and see what happens at the end of the year is what I'd probably do. That'd be my advice. And last one at TTQ03. Can you give a shout out to a long-time listener, Paul Clayton? May he ever continue to finish second to last, yet to make the finals and finish second to last in 4 of the last 5 years in their league. Is it time to dump him to the waivers? Well, I don't know about dumping him to the waivers. It depends what value he brings to the group chat, to the laughs. Like, and if you didn't have this guy who didn't make finals every year, like, and you couldn't laugh at him each week, like, would it be as fun in your league?
Yeah, they're the things that sort of make the league unique, aren't they?
Yeah, so we got a guy.
That's the best part of it.
In my dynasty league, there's a guy who's probably going to win his 3rd spoon in a row. To finish like tough. Second to bottom, like
3rd spoons it.
But like he doesn't even watch footy really anymore. Like he's so off it. Like he pretty much goes to my rankings each week and just picks in order. So really, he should be doing a lot better. It's
tough if you don't watch footy.
Yeah. In fairness, all he's done is picked up like first-year players and. He's had a few misses.
Just like rebuilding.
Yeah, and he's had a few misses on them where he probably should be like grabbing a bit of experience and stuff like that. So, But no, the league wouldn't be the same without him. So
that's right.
Need him in there.
Need someone to take the piss out of everything.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and post funny shit in the chat. I think that's really wise there. But I wouldn't dump him to the waivers just yet. No, Paul's probably good value for your league, regardless. Anyways, we might wrap it up there. Thanks, Tommy, for coming on the show. Did tick over the half an hour mark, so we might knock it over in half an hour.
That's all right.
That's the buy rounds for you. They're a bit shorter.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't even know the buy rounds were here until they hit last week. So
no, they do sneak up fast. Over halfway through the season, though, which is good for us content creators. It's pretty hectic otherwise.
Oh, it's a hectic year.
Yeah, definitely. Get around us at Keeper League Pod on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. I think that's all. I've probably missed one there, but we're around on those. If you want to support the podcast, please consider signing up to the member if it's within your means to do so. And make sure you're joining up the Discord on the Discord and getting involved in the community chat. Anyways, that'll do us this week. Thanks once again, Tommy. And
no worries.
We'll talk to you next week. See ya.